Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Vijeta and today I will be talking about the novel The Catcher in the Rye, written by the American novelist J.D. Salinger in the year 1951. The Catcher in the Rye is a story about a young boy who is in his teens. He is like a high school student, Holden Caulfield. Actually, The Catcher in the Rye is a semi autobiographical novel, and the story starts out with Holden Caulfield having this humor, dry humor, in which he says that, okay, so I'm not going to start my story like David Copperfield, telling all about my parents, because my parents are not going to like it. And it's quite relatable in some ways. And it's the main part of the novel is that it has this humor, which makes it very enjoyable of a read. Besides that, in his life, in his personal life and in his school life, he's not doing very well. He goes to Pensy Prep and he is going to get out of there. He's getting flunked. It's his fourth school because he has been failing all of his classes, and English is the only class he has not flunked, and he's not very happy about that. But it is what it is. Besides that, he doesn't have many friends. He doesn't like people in general because he thinks the world is very phony. Everybody is phony. He's struggling with the fact that morality, as is taught from the early ages of childhood to adulthood, it's not practiced in the real world. And at first he's confused and then appalled by it, by the hypocrisy of people, the double standards of people, the people who are something else on the outer but something else on the inner. It disturbs him greatly. And also he says this thing about his school also, like the brochure of his school has this thing that there's a guy on the brochure cover with a horse riding thing, and he's like riding on a horse, and it's written that we at Pensy Prep produce great young gallant individuals. And Holden again in his humor says that, okay, if anybody goes and meet the individuals that are really there at Pensy Prep, they would not tell them that they are gallant or young individuals, like the charming or gallant chivalrous individuals that Pensy Prep is claiming to make. And regarding the horse riding also, he says that, okay, just two or three people are there who indulge in this activity. Whatever is shown is not real, and that baffles him a lot. Also, his relationship with his roommate, Ackley Stradlater, his friend, it's not very good because he knows them and he knows that they are phonies, they are not very organized, and that icks him, that doesn't sit well with him. Like, Holden is this guy who, I think from the readings that I have done, holds great principles. Although he is like a normal teenager, he used to smoke a lot and he's not very responsible. But he's really baffled by the fact that the innocence, the purity that is very much celebrated in books, in poetry or stories, is not actually practiced in real life. He's more of an idealist. And when I was reading about him, or reading of his mind, like his soliloquies and his monologue, I thought about John Keats and William Wordsworth. Like, William Wordsworth says that from childhood we are very innocent, but as we enter into adulthood we are more concerned about the flesh. And Holden somewhat has those ideas. Besides that, if you see the name Holden, hold on. I was reading this article, Britannica article, in which Holden's name can be pronounced as hold on. So Holden wants to hold on to these principles of purity, innocence, idealistic world. And when it's not being done, when it's not being implemented, he's really pissed actually. even the big authoritarian figures, like he was talking about this guy who was his super senior in the Pensy Prep. He comes to the school now and he's this great status holding guy, but he could see that he's still a phony, and whatever he said on that podium does not match with the actions he does. And these things baffle him, which is why he kind of isolates himself. He's isolating from those kinds of people, and also he's self protecting himself. He does not want to be in that company. Like in Spark Notes, I was reading that Holden Caulfield does not want to indulge in society. He's very anti-social, asocial, because he is trying to protect himself, which is evident because he doesn't want to mingle with people. Although he has a good heart, he sometimes he lies to protect the feelings of others. He is greatly concerned about Jane Gallagher, his childhood friend. When he comes to know that Stradlater is going on a date with Jane, he's very, very concerned actually. He thinks that a guy like Stradlater should not go near innocent Jane. And his concerns for people, for innocent people, for seemingly innocent people, like the people who are like him in some ways, shows a depth and understanding that is there inside of him. And the frustration of it all comes in the form of the fact that he smokes a lot and he looks older than his years. Like he says that I have some gray hair. And the psychology of Holden Caulfield is quite interesting because he wants to be great and he has these great ideas. He wants to have high standards, but the weight of not having those things, that weight of not seeing it in the world and also in himself, that weight of not accomplishing those things is actually weighing him down, because he is not what he wants to be. He wants to be ideal, he wants to be good, and he wants that good in the world also, but it is not there, and it disturbs him, it saddens him. And his concerns about his sister Phoebe, he wants to protect her at all costs, and that is why he goes to that school. He tries to erase that word that is written on the school walls, and he erases and erases wherever he finds them, but then at the end he realizes that he can't erase all those words, and in the same way he can't protect everybody. He can't be that hero. He has that hero complex kind of a thing that okay, I should protect everybody, but at some point he realizes this thing and it saddens him. He wants to go away and he does not want to be concerned with the world. But then his sister in a way stops him by saying that I will also go with you, and it melts him. It's like the struggles of a teenager who is actually seeing the world for what it is for the first time and getting appalled, shocked, surprised by what he sees. And all that frustration, all that shock, overwhelming things can be seen through Holden's eyes when he describes the incidents that occur in his life. He is also living in a Peter Pan syndrome because he does not want to grow up. In some ways, when he encounters Sunny, that girl, and when she approaches him, he's like he is unable to do anything with her. He just gives her money and sends her away. She's like this woman who is called by him, and he does not want to be engaged with her in that manner, in a sexual manner. And that shows him that he is still in that Peter Pan syndrome stage, and he wants the purity. He wants to hold on to the purity, and hence the name Holden. So it's like that struggles of a young adolescent teenager. That is why this novel is also considered to be a coming of age novel and a young adult novel. And a lot of ideologies that we see in this novel, that of the morality getting away, and the old times, the nostalgia for the old times, it's a running theme in the modernist writers. A lot of writers, like English writers like Noel Coward, a very famous playwright, has written plays on this thing that the principles, the morality of the society is going away. He's actually a great playwright. And if you want, you can actually listen to his plays on BBC Radio Drama Collection. I will cover him in one of my videos, but I think The Vortex is an amazing, magnificent play that describes this thing when a mother is having an affair with another guy, and her own son is like 21, and that guy whom she's having an affair with is like 26 or 27. It's like somewhere between, somewhere in the age range of her own son, and the son is therefore taking drugs. It's done amazingly, like by the BBC Radio Drama Collection. The play is done amazingly, and I think that guy, yeah, he was great. Actually, he is the same voice actor who did the role of the idiot in Fyodor Dostoevsky's BBC radio drama. I'm not sure. I should check it. Yeah, he is the same guy. I've forgotten his name, but yeah, he is a great voice actor. I will be covering Noel Coward's BBC radio drama collection and Fyodor Dostoevsky's BBC radio drama soon. But yeah, that is the thing about modernist writers. A lot of this ideology of the times gone by, the Victorian times gone by, the propriety, the decorum. Some of the writers actually have this concern that those old times, that decency, sobriety is no longer there. Some of it can be credited to the war, and the times change and people become nostalgic. That is the running theme in all the ages. So that theme can be seen, that modernist thinking can be connected to this piece of work, which was also written in those times, in the modernist era, if I may say so. And there is an interesting fact about J.D. Salinger. J.D. Salinger didn't want this The Catcher in the Rye to be adapted into a movie, although they do have a movie, Rebel in the Rye, which was directed. It came out in the year 2006, 12 or 11. I'm not sure, but yeah, it came out in this decade only, the 2010s decade only. And yeah, so you can check out that movie. Also, an interesting fact, John Lennon was assassinated in 1980 by Mark David Chapman. And do you know, Mark David Chapman was actually influenced by Holden Caulfield. Yeah. Also, John W. Hinckley Jr., he attempted assassination on Ronald Reagan. He was that US president in that time, and it was a failed assassination, but he tried in 1981, and he was also influenced by, you guessed it right, Holden Caulfield. While I may say that these two people were sociopaths and they must be having this twisted thing going on, they interpreted the text in their own way, and that is there. So text is a subjective thing, and your interpretation is what matters. So that is why literature has this thing that whatever you want to see, you will see. You can take great things from literature, but yeah, sometimes people with sociopathic tendencies or narcissistic tendencies tend to take this in some other way. So yeah, that is something, some talk, a debate, a discussion that requires a lot of research. But yeah, I wanted to include it because I saw it in the Britannica article and wanted to share it. Yeah, the book is good. You can read it. It's simple read. It's humorous. You will like it. It's insightful. It will also raise a lot of questions and will give you a sight of the labyrinth of the world in which we are living, where the morality, the principles are kind of getting diluted or are kind of getting twisted with the unique situations that are coming our way. And sometimes it becomes difficult to understand, okay, what is right, what is wrong, what is being phony. Sometimes you become phony without knowing that you are a phony. So self-awareness, self-criticism, introspection, these things are important at every facet of life. And Holden kind of indicates that thing also, because he's also introspecting, he's also thinking what can be there. He's criticizing himself, but he's criticizing others also. So that is that. So these were the thoughts on the book. These are my thoughts. If you have any more things to add, you can write it down in the comment section. Give my video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe to my channel, and I will meet you all in the next video. Thank you.